Hey, it's your coach Aisha Cockburn of CoachAisha.com, and I just wanted to tell you how much you all do my heart good when I hear from you, when I connect with hundreds of you literally each week on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and those of you who subscribe to the newsletter. And the thing that just motivates me so much is hearing all of the wonderful things that you're doing. I mean, you all are phenomenal. I mean, you have wonderful business ideas and plans and the ways that you're looking to use your God-given talents to do wonderful things. It just truly inspires me. Especially on those days where I just want to lay on the couch and watch a marathon of The Office. When I think about all of the wonderful plans that you have, it gets me going. And here's the thing. When I connect with you all, you tell me about your plans, I get excited because I get it. But everybody doesn't get it. Have you ever had an experience where you've talked to a friend or a family member, maybe even your spouse, about your plans and they were a little less than excited? And I know some of you who are kind of creative out there, if you're like me, you probably have like 5 ideas a day that, could be standalone businesses. And so when you're constantly telling your friends about all of your ideas, they're just like, okay, here we go again. But I mean, we're talking about that thing that is your passion, that is driving you, that you want to accomplish more than anything else. And you share your heart with people. You tell them what you want to accomplish. And they have all of these reasons why it won't work, why it's not practical, or why it's not possible. And if you're not careful, that can be enough to completely derail and discourage you from pursuing it. So what I want to do today is just to offer you 3 tips on how you can stay motivated to pursue your passion when other people just don't get it. So the first tip is you have got to stay connected to your why. Why is it so important? Why are you continuing to invest in that business when it's been years and it still hasn't gotten to the level that you know it's capable of? But you're still on fire. You're still passionate. You still believe in it. Why are you willing to do that? Why are you willing to walk away from your good paying job to go back to school full time? And everybody else thinks you're crazy. Why is that so important to you? You have to stay connected to your why, because trust me, there are going to be some days when you're just not feeling it. And it may not be because of something else that someone else said or did, but there are days when you just will start to feel like, you know what, I don't know if this thing is worth it. And on those days, that's when you are going to need to dig deep and remember why it's important to you. So I want you to write down your why. You can put it on an index card, or one of the things that my coach had me do is to create a why board. So literally, like, I have a foam core board in my office, and it is decorated with phrases and pictures and all of the reasons why I do what I do. So on those days when, you know what, I want to take this luxurious vacation and it's not in my budget, and I think back to the days when I was in corporate America and I could pretty much just do what I want, I've got to look at that board and remind myself that it's worth it. So tip number 1 is to connect to your why. The second thing you've got to do is you have got to spend time with like-minded people who get it. This morning, I had a wonderful, wonderful call on Skype with Brandy Royal Washington, who is the owner of Brandilly Marketing and Creative down in Raleigh, North Carolina. And, we went to college together. We've known each other for years. And, both had corporate careers. Both are entrepreneurs now. And just being able to share those funny stories and some of the challenges and the benefits of being in business for yourself, I'm telling you, that call pumped me up today so much I didn't need to drink a cup of coffee. And so make sure that you make an active effort on some regular basis. Maybe it's every day, maybe it's every week, maybe it's twice a month, but you've got to work it into your plans to stay connected to like-minded people. And it may be people who are already doing what you're doing. It may be people who are you're on the same path together of pursuing. I recommend having a mix of both. Maybe somebody that you're traveling in tandem with, but also connect with some people who are further along that journey. And not just from a mentoring standpoint, but just to motivate you, to remind you of what's possible. It doesn't always have to be that they're going to sow seeds of wisdom into your life, but again, just to be able to see what is out there for you if you keep on, and being able to connect to people who understand what you're going through, because there may be people in your very house who don't get it. I mean, I think my 16-year-old son believes that money just falls out of the chimney, because I work from a home office. So unless I'm out on the road or speaking or doing corporate training, he sees me working in my office in the house, and I think he just, I don't know what he thinks. I think he thinks I'm on Facebook all day. And so, or even if you're married, your spouse may come in from their 9-to-5 job and see you tinkering on the computer, and because they don't see the money necessarily going into that checking account yet, to them you're just playing around. And you know what? Everybody's not going to get it, and that's okay. But make sure that you stay connected to people who do, so that you can stay encouraged. So tip number 2 is you have got to connect to like-minded people consistently. So pull out your calendar, decide on what interval you're going to do that, who you're going to connect with, and make it happen. And the third and final tip is you got to watch what you eat. Now, this is not a diet video, but you've got to watch what you eat. I mean, think about this. Just as a newborn baby, a little baby, is so important to make sure that they get the proper nutrition and vitamins and nutrients, because they're building, they're developing, their brains and their organs and their tissues and their bones are growing. And if they don't have the proper nutrition, they can have long-term health effects or really stunt their growth and development as a result of that. Well, the same thing goes for you. So if you are feasting on negativity and self-doubt and listening to all the reasons why it won't work, then don't be surprised when the time comes for you to pick up the telephone and call that potential client and you're afraid. Or you have an opportunity for a speaking engagement that is going to put you in front of the people who need to hear your message or what you have to share, and you feel like you're not ready, and you pass up on that opportunity. You are what you eat. And so if you're finding that self-doubt is running through your DNA, running through your pores and your all that body stuff, obviously I was not a biology major, all that body stuff. If you find that self-doubt and just that lack of confidence is ruling you, then you've got to change up your diet. Make sure that you're feasting on things that are going to remind you of the greatness that's inside of you. And you know what? I don't care what your spiritual beliefs are. One of the best things that you can do to feed your spirit is to read the Bible. I mean, if you go to Barnes & Noble in the self-help section, which I so often do, I am a self-help book junkie, I'm just going to tell you that. But if I think about the countless self-help books that I've read over the years, probably hundreds of books, the principles in those books that have yielded the greatest results can be directly tied back to biblical principles. So even if you're not a Christian, look at the Bible as a good self-help book that is going to teach you principles of who you are, who you were created to be. Even in your business dealings, it's going to give you guidance and wisdom on how you conduct your affairs, how you relate to other people. It is one of the best books that you can read for your personal and professional success. So your 3 tips again. Number 1, you've got to stay connected to your why. So write it down on an index card and carry it with you everywhere you go, or create a whiteboard, but make sure that you do that. So that day where you're like, you know what, I'm cashing it in, I'm investing too much time and energy in this thing and it's just not working, you can remember why. Now let me give you this disclaimer. I'm not saying to you, if you have a bad business idea or something that just is not working, that you continue to stay with it. I mean, that is the purpose of having strategy and being able to plan out and see, okay, what do we need to do to make this thing work? And sometimes you will find that what you're doing just wasn't the right path to go down. But make sure that you aren't abandoning it. I can't say that word, abandoning it. There we go, something like that. But make sure you're not jumping ship. How about that? Make sure you don't jump ship simply because other people around you are saying it's not working, or because you're tired. Make sure that that's not the reason. So stay connected to your why. The second tip again is intentionally spend time with like-minded people. If you're an entrepreneur, seek out other entrepreneurs. If you are an adult student, you know, I know some folks who are in their 50s and their 60s who have decided to go back into pursue their bachelor's and boy, I can't talk today. Their bachelor's degrees and their master's degrees, even their doctorate degrees. So find other people who are non-traditional students who are seeking to attain that next level in doing what you do, or people who have already done it, because in those times when everybody around you doesn't seem to get it, that can be the conversation that you need to keep you going. And finally, watch what you eat. Make sure that you aren't feasting on negativity and self-doubt, and put good things into your spirit that are going to remind you of who you are and the success that you are capable of if you will just step out there and try. So that is your message for this week. As always, I love to hear from you. I told you, it's what keeps me going, so I want to hear from you. So if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure that you leave a comment. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you know, just click one of the links, send me an email. And if you don't subscribe to my newsletter already, make sure that you do. So you can go to my website at CoachAisha.com. That's CoachAisha.com. Visit my website or send me an email at info@CoachAisha.com and we'll get you subscribed. And also, if you found this video helpful, make sure you pass it along. Don't be stingy. Share it with a friend. Share it with your entire network, because you know what? There may be people who could benefit from this, who are have that ideal in their head or have something that they want to pursue, but they don't have the courage yet to step out, and you may not even know it. And you taking the time to forward this video to your network may give them the confidence that they need to step out and do it. So do that for them. Do that for your friends. Do that for your coworkers. And until we connect again, have a wonderful week on purpose.